Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. As you know, the welder I've been using on this channel is the Arccaptian MiG 200. I've been using it a lot here for the last 6-8 months. It's my go-to welder. I've had to replace my old welder with this welder here. They contacted me, over a year ago to sample one of their machines and see what I thought of it. And I ended up replacing my machine, and this is my go-to welder now. Arccaptian has contacted me again. He wants me to try out another machine. So let's check it out. So here it is, a plasma cutter. I haven't even opened this up now, so I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I don't know what entails what's in this box, so I'm going to take you guys along and see what we're up against. Ooh, that razor blade, huh? I had a razor blade there earlier. There it is. Arccaptian Cut55 Pro. It's a small little machine, bit of weight to it. Construction seems good. It comes with a 220 plug and also comes with a conversion that I can actually plug it into the wall. Comes with the ground. Seems pretty stout. Nice heavy cable. I don't know what this is. Neat little cover. That goes over, that's fine. Keep the dust off it. Turn it around. That's a neat little feature. Lay it over there for now. Won't need that right now. This is the torch itself. Seems stout. A few extra tips and nozzles. Well, there you have it. I'm going to put this all together here now, and we're going to turn around and take it for a trial run, see what it's all about. So I went ahead and I got it all put together. It was pretty straightforward and simple. Everything just snapped together, bolted on, screwed on. Everything was fitting. This here just slipped on and bolted on. All that was straightforward, okay? I got it plugged into my 220 plug that I got here in the shop. And that all worked out fine. The ground cable, nice and long, okay? The actual lead is nice and long. Over here on the gas side, the air side, more or less, the regulator, everything, all that was already installed when I got it. The hose was here. I had to hook the clamp onto it and bolt it on there. And on the other end, this piece here never come with the machine. I had to dig up something for that. It's an actual fitting to go into whatever air tool that you use type fittings, because there's a number of different ones, and it's kind of hard for them to turn around and say, well, yeah, okay, you know, this is the one we're going to give you, because most times the one that gives you is not the one that you use in your shop. So that's no big deal. Just make sure if you order one that you have one of them lying around that you can put in the end of the hose. Everything seems to be set up there pretty good. I've read over the directions and everything. Everything has got a couple of neat little features on it. One thing I looked into, I wanted to make sure that the tips, the nozzle, and all them pieces in here were they own or were they generic to other style plasma cutters, and they are just standard run-of-the-mill tips and nozzles. I have another machine here, and the nozzles from that will fit this one here, which is good because I have an abundance of them here. Let's see what else. Let's turn this thing on. Okay, got the machine turned on. The modes here, got a mode button. It goes from 2T to 4T. What that means is your trigger itself. 2T is you, but when you hold down on the trigger, that's when you're doing your cutting. And when you want it to stop, you let go. 4T is you press on the trigger and it turns it on. You got to press on the trigger and turn it off. It keeps going. So if you're doing a big project and you got to do a lot of cutting, you can actually just turn the machine on, cut away, instead of holding your finger on the button for a long period of time. The Cut55 Pro plasma cutter has a neat little function called a pilot arc function. It's a high frequency non-touch arc starting mode. I'm just going to keep it on 2T for now. That setting, because everything I usually do is only small stuff and whatnot. This is the dial, amps, up to 55, I suppose that's what it means. You know me now, and amps and a voltage and all that type of stuff. I'm not an electrician. I cut and grind weld steel. That's what I do for a living. So I got all that straightened away. The ear holes all plugged in. Got it all rigged up here now. I'm gonna find a piece of scrap now and try it out. I picked up a bunch of this racking last year, and it's been stored outside, and I've been wanting to break it down, like cut it up and put it in length sections and just get all the welding and everything removed from it. I just want to cut the pieces off. So I'm going to use this today. Now I'm going to cut up a bunch of this, and I'm going to experiment with the settings on it. I'm going to see how low I can turn it down. I'm going to start at the high setting and just cut it off, and I'm just going to turn it down to see how low I can turn it down to cut this stuff here, just to play around with it, because most times I just turn the settings on them up on bus and just goes with it, right? So I'm going to get started chopping this up. Well, that made short order of all that, didn't it? Chopped all that up with ease. Most all that was 1/8. There's some stuff there was a little bit thinner, but pretty well all the big long lengths was 1/8 thick, so it cut through that no problem. I'm curious to see what I was going to cut thicker stuff with. I have a piece of steel here now, an old piece of scrap I got from behind the garage. This here, I think, is 3/4 of an inch. That there is 1/2 inch there. And I'm going to play around with it, and there's 1/4 of an inch there. We'll start here, cut a piece off of that, cut a piece off of that, and then we're going to see how much trouble it's going to be to cut this. Three-quarters of an inch steel, and she cut through it with ease. Okay, it's not the prettiest. It's got slag on the bottom, yes, but all I'm using this for is to cut stuff up, and that is extremely thick. Okay, and I cut through everything else best kind. The settings I had it on the max setting of 55 right here, and then back here on the ear reading and the instructions. Most of everything was 55-60, 55-60, so I set it on just above 60. So when the pressure regulator got to the end down there, it was about 60 psi on the ear, and that chopped it off without a problem. I got some more stuff here now. Since I got this out here now, I'm going to go ahead and trim all this up and finish off my little hobble here, and we'll close out this video. I got all that cut up. There's a lot of things you can probably do with these little plasma cutters. You use it for cutting out brackets and all that type of stuff. Right now, all I needed for was cleaning up metal. You know, I used to have torches years ago and for doing this type of work, and the problem you got run into then is you got to deal with 2 contracts for 2 different bottles of gas, and then you set of torches, okay? So you always got something that's going to run out on you, either oxygen or acetylene or one or the other. These little things, all you need is an air hose and a bit of 220, and then away you go. And a few little tips to put in the gun every now and again. I never changed tip, not once. Done all that one tip, okay? So, another little addition to the shop. I'm going to be pleased now that I'm going to be using this. I have a number of things coming up, projects coming up that I'm going to be wanting this on. So, you'll be seeing more of this on the channel. So, keep an eye out for it.